Hello, this is Andrew from AJBHolsters, and this is not another episode of Archery Releases Ad Nauseum. I apologize that I haven't put any videos in a while. I changed jobs recently and went from 10 hours a day, 4 days a week, to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. So between that and the time I spend making release aid holsters, free time for me is really at a premium, but hopefully in the future I'll be able to start doing release views like I said I would. Seriously, though, I can't thank everyone enough for their interest in business. I've always wanted a place in the sportsman's community, and it seems like I finally found something of a niche for myself. So, with all that being said, it is with great pleasure, as much as I can express it, that I am releasing a new product, or rather, my own version of a product that's been out for decades, a pocket quiver. I know I'm not the first person to design one, not even the first one to design one from thermoform plastic, but this is my take on one, and in this video I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can think of that somebody might want to ask before they make the choice to purchase one. There will be a pinned comment down below so you can skip the following sales pitch and get into any of the specifics you may want to know about. So, with that being said, here we go. So why would somebody want this? Because range pants are way too expensive. Sorry, Knock On Nation, you're some of my best customers, but I can't justify paying $225 for a pair of pants. In short, not that any of my explanations are short, this may be appealing to anybody for whom a traditional belt or back quiver doesn't work. I'm an EDC nut and carry a lot of stuff around in my belt, so trying to wrap a belt quiver around everything else attached to me looks and feels ridiculous. Also, this may be appealing to anyone who wants their arrows readily accessible when they want them, but out of the way while they are shooting or pulling their arrows from the target. Pocket quivers orient the arrows similarly to a field quiver, but they don't bounce against your hip while you walk. I also have less difficulty finding the opening to seat my arrows with these. When I used to use a field quiver, I was constantly having to feel around or look down at it to put my arrows back. This shouldn't have been terribly surprising that it's easier to use one of these, since I've never had trouble retrieving my wallet from my back pocket or returning it there. If you have to look down to find your rear end, then you're in trouble. Anywho, this can also be good for anyone who shoots in their backyard and normally just pockets their arrows to begin with. This gives you something rigid to hold your arrows instead of the cloth of your pocket. So enough sales pitch, let's get into the specifics. At this point, I'm going to say what probably should go without saying, so I'm going to say it anyway. These are not intended for use with broadheads. Field points only. Just going to get that out of the way. I feel like at some point somebody's going to ask me that question, and I'm just going to have to cite this section. The quiver measures 6 inches tall by 4¼ inches wide. I designed it to fit into a quote-unquote functional back pocket, i.e. one that is made to actually put something in it. With some pants, particularly women's clothing and men's skinny jeans, the rear pockets are just for show, so your mileage may vary. Thickness of the quiver is going to depend on the size of the arrows that are in it. Each quiver also has an injection molded belt clip attached to the front to clip to the outside of your pocket and hold it in place. Is the quiver adjustable for different arrow sizes? At the moment and at this price point, each quiver is designed to hold a specific inner diameter and point size and style. If this takes off and I can quit my day job, then maybe I can develop a system for a fully adjustable quiver, kind of like the boning one that came out recently. I have some ideas, but too many other things to do before I can actually start prototyping that. That's probably going to exceed the manufacturing capability I can accommodate in my basement. Alright, so what sizes do they hold? I am currently producing 5 sizes using the same materials and colors as I make my release aid holsters. And the material flexes, so arrows of the same inner diameter but different wall thickness and spine deflection will fit into the same quiver. For example, my Gold Tip Kinetic 400s and my Victory 3D HV 350s, both of which have glue-in points, can be used in the same quiver. The specific sizes are 166 inner diameter with glue-in points, so Victory VAPs, Gold Tip Kinetic Pierce, Carbon Express XSDs are all for, the ones with glue-in points are for this size. Note, micro diameter arrows with outserts and screw-in points will not fit into this size. Next up is 204 inner diameter with glue-in points. Kinetic Chaoses, Easton FMJs, Axis arrows, Victory Rips, Victory 3D HVs, Black Eagle Rampages and Renegades. If they have glue-in points, then they will fit into this size. Note again, small diameter arrows, with outserts and screw-in points do not fit into this size. Standard diameter arrows, so you're looking at 246, 245, 246 with inserts and screw-in points will fit into this quiver size. Next up is mid-sized target shafts, so your Gold Tip 22s, Black Eagle PS 23s, No Limit Archery Liberties, if they're even being made anymore, fit into this quiver size. And then lastly is the large diameter target shafts, specifically 27/64 arrows such as Gold Tip 30Xs and various other, basically the biggest arrows fit into this one. So I kept mentioning small diameter arrows with outserts and screw-in points not working, so what about them? I'm still figuring this out. But if the outside diameter of the points you're using matches the size of the next size up of quiver, then that's the one you choose. So most of them come in or take a point that's either 9/32 or 5/16. The two that I'm holding up now are 5/16 inch points, and that's a Victory VAP with a shock insert, and then the Gold Tip Kinetic Chaos with their outsert system. They both take a 5/16 inch point, and they fit into the standard size of a quiver. At some point, I end up introducing a 6th and a 7th size to cover these. I know how to do it, I just need the time to do it. I'm also still learning how Easton hit inserts and deep sixes work and how that's going to fit into this scheme. I have a customer who is using Easton FMJ 5mm arrows, and they're using whatever standard points they took, and they fit into a small diameter quiver. So I'm still learning all the things I didn't know, and that's going to require some trial and error on my part. With that, I cannot stress enough, if you are unsure what size you need, please contact me with your arrow setup, and I should be able to look up all the specifics in order to point you in the right direction, or let you know that it isn't going to work, one or the other, at the expense of costing me a sale. I want to make sure my customers are getting what they need that they can actually use, and not just something that they're gonna, throw in the bin with the rest of their gimmicky items. So how many arrows do they hold? The micro size with glue-in points will hold up to 10 arrows. Small diameter with glue-in points will hold up to 10 arrows. Standard diameter up to 9. Mid-size target up to 7. And large diameter up to 6. Now, if you load the quiver to capacity, what's going to happen with it is the arrows are going to be kind of stuck in an upright position. And one of the things that I noticed using when I was working on the design is that when it's like that, it has a tendency to, when you come to full draw, your release shoulder touches the arrows. And I find that a bit distracting, and I took that into account when I designed this. I carry it with at least one under, so I have the ability to shift them in one direction or the other and get the arrows out of the way of your release shoulder, kind of like the way a field quiver is oriented. It aims back instead of straight up and down. That's actually one of my little selling points versus the other one that's available on the market right now. So another question is, what kind of retention does the quiver keep for the arrows? The quivers do not have an adjustable retention screw. I left that out in order to allow the archers to shift the arrows in one direction or another to get them out of your way of your release shoulder at full draw. If there was a screw in there, they'd be stuck in the upright position. So that makes it a little difficult. I can't guarantee that the arrows may not fall out if you turn it upside down, depending on what arrows you are using or how many arrows you are carrying in it, but I have been using these myself for the last year, and a few of my friends are using them as well, and I haven't had a situation that I wasn't, up against brush or something where any quiver would be losing arrows, where it didn't come out when I didn't pull it out myself. I also don't shoot hanging upside down like a tree bat or standing on my head. So under normal conditions, your arrows will stay in place when you place them into the quiver. Next question will be options, colors, and pricing. These will be offered in every color. I offer the Release Aid holsters. If you have a specific camo you want, please message me and I'll see what I can do. Can't make any guarantees and I can't stock all of them. There's too many. Pricing is going to start at $40 for solid colors and $45 for carbon fiber prints. And eventually I'll be offering the basket weave as well, if it's requested enough. I'm also figuring out, you may notice that some of these have some custom engraving on them. I'm also figuring out how to price out custom engraving, since unlike my release holsters, I have a real nice big canvas on the back in order to do various types of work. I like to put memes on mine just for fun. In the meantime, if you're interested in having something engraved on yours, it has to be convertible to black and white and cannot be copyrighted or trademarked. Shoot me a message and I'll try to get you a price quote. And then the last question is, what kind of lead time are we looking at? At the moment, I am processing orders within about 72 hours from the time I receive it to when I am dropping them off at the post office. I think if I think I'm going to take longer for whatever reason, usually it's a supply issue or an equipment failure, I will message the person, the customers who have pending orders, to let them know that there's a delay and how long I think it's going to take to resolve it. So I think that covers it. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to message me here in the comments or message me on Etsy. So this is Andrew Baker from AJBHolsters signing off, and take care, stay safe, and happy hunting. Take care. Bye.